Hey guys, welcome to another ProGuides TFT video. Today, we're going to review over the top champions in TFT of 9.18. There have been some champions that have taken a rise into the meta while others have fallen off. But first, I'd like to remind you to click on the link below and take a look at the updated ProGuides.com if you want to learn more about teamfight tactics. ProGuides will always have info on the newest patches, best builds, and strategies. There are all different kinds of resources from top players to help you become the best player that you can be. So be sure to check out ProGuides.com using the link in the description. Alright, let's get right back into the video. In the S tier, we have Ashe, Aurelion Sol, Brand, Gnar, Kennen, Kassadin, Sejuani, Shyvana, Swain, and Draven. These are units you want to play around and always be on the lookout for. With the buff to maximum attack speed, Ashe has become an S tier unit when combined with the Ranger bonus. With Rage Blade and her high attack speed, she becomes an incredibly strong carry. She's capable of perma-freezing units with Glacial and very effective with on-hit items like Swordbreaker and Hush. Aurelion Sol holds his place as one of the best units in the game because of his ability along with his synergies. Aurelion's ability dealing heavy AoE magic damage easily lets him eliminate teams. Along with that, Dragon Synergy makes Aurelion Sol difficult to poke out with spells. Brand is a fantastic carry with some of the best synergies in this patch. As long as he gets even one ultimate off, which is likely because of the double mana from elementals and mana gain from demons, he will deal tons of damage to your enemies. Gnar is one of the best carries and crowd control units in the game. With Shapeshifters being a powerful synergy and Gnar's base health being incredibly high, he becomes insanely hard to kill. The AD buff Gnar gained also made him a great physical damage carry. Kennen, being an elemental, yordle, and a ninja, gives him a well-rounded synergy list for you to play around. His ultimate combined with Morrocrux also dishes out an AoE burn effect and grievous wounds, which is especially effective against 3-starred assassin players or shapeshifters. Kassadin with Youmuu's Ghost Blade has made him a powerful carry this patch when played with Void Assassins. Even after the AD nerfs to his base AD and BF sword, he's still a threatening carry. He's also just a generally powerful unit to have early game, providing a potential early 3 sorcerers. Sejuani is an S tier even after the nerf due to how powerful her ultimate is. Knights being buffed also makes her slightly stronger and a pretty strong unit to play around. Shyvana being a shapeshifter and a dragon makes her difficult to handle for most compositions late game. She transforms into a high-health ranged hyper carry that comps like elementals or sorcerers might not have the tools to take down. Even without items, she's a strong carry if she transforms when 2-starred. Swain, despite receiving some nerfs, can still be very difficult to kill while dealing high amounts of damage. Though he doesn't have the crowd control like Gnar, he still can deal a lot of AoE damage. Draven is given an S tier solely because of his solo carry potential in BladeMaster compositions. When built around, he can be one of the best units in the game. He's also a fantastic counter to people who build Dragon Synergy. Last but not least is Pantheon. Being our newest champion so far, his ability is one of the best in the game with an OP stun and a Morrocrux built into his kit. His synergy is both Dragon and Guardian, making him a great unit to put in to boost the defense of your composition. Moving on to our A tier units, we have Cho'Gath, Aatrox, Akali, Braum, Kayle, Kindred, Kha'Zix, Lissandra, Lucian, Lulu, Morgana, Nidalee, Poppy, Rengar, Varus, Zed, Pyke, and Anivia. Cho'Gath is similar to Sejuani in the sense he's got high base stats and a strong ultimate. However, even though Cho'Gath may have Void available, his ultimate is less consistent compared to Sejuani due to the randomness factor of it. However, he's still a strong pickup. A stands for Aatrox. He's a powerful unit, fitting as a Blademaster for Draven and a Demon for Swain. He works well for Imperials. He's also a powerful mid-game unit, being able to wipe out multiple enemies at once with his ability having high base damage and Demon Synergy providing him mana. After the buffs, Akali fits her role as a late-game assassin. Her damage buffs may seem small at first, but taking in the factor she's a ninja and an assassin, it ramps up her strength quite a lot. She's definitely a unit to look out for if you're running assassins, especially with Seraphs. Braum gets his spot as an A-tier unit because of his effectiveness as a tank. He has high base stats and an ultimate that can make him difficult for some comps to kill him efficiently. He also can block AoE ultimates like Brand or Varus. Kayle, having high attack speed and fantastic stalling utility, can make her difficult to deal with. At 2-star, she becomes an especially powerful counter to assassins who want to look to burst you down. She's also a great unit to get knights with when running Sejuani or Poppy. Kindred gets an A tier in our list. Her ultimate can be extremely powerful in compositions like Rangers to keep them from getting caught out from assassins or AoE burst. She's also a Phantom, which can decide fights if it hits the right carries. Kha'Zix is an A tier unit solely because of how powerful his early game is. He also plays a role as a great unit to carry in Void Assassins. His ability to instantly burst an isolated enemy makes him a strong assassin in the early game. However, he isn't S tier when compared to Assassin Kassadin, which scales a lot better than he does. Lissandra receiving buffs patch after patch has made her a strong unit. Being a glacial and an elemental, along with her ability being powerful for a 2-cost unit, Lissandra can even be used as a hyper carry. Though weaker compared to Brand or Kennen, her damage is still very high and is a great counter to assassins. Lucian's second shot speed scaling with attack speed has made him a very strong carry in BladeMaster gunslingers. When combined with the buff Swordbreaker and Hush, he can shut down shapeshifters and void assassins, both being considered the strongest synergies this patch. Lulu is one of the best sorcerers even if she's a support mage. Her being a Yordle also makes her a fantastic unit to put in with other Yordles like Gnar, Kennen, and Poppy. She provides a lot of consistency your composition might not have. Keeping your carries alive for a few more seconds can let them get their ultimates off more frequently. Morgana is another sorcerer that's quite powerful, serving as a counter to assassins. When combined with Guardian Angel and Demons, she consistently gets her ultimate off and typically stuns all the assassins who try to kill your backline if positioned properly. Nicolai is the best carry for shapeshifters in the early game. Her base attack damage from her transforming plus the healing makes her difficult to handle. She also has Wild, which can very quickly stack up to make her deal even more damage. Poppy is an A tier unit simply due to how powerful she is as a unit overall. With 3 Yordles, she becomes harder to kill, alongside her providing night buffs. She also does a lot of damage and provides a fair amount of crowd control with her ultimate. Varus isn't as strong as Ashe, but he provides a lot of magical damage burst for a 2-cost. With Demons, he can consistently get his ultimate off. Along with the Rangers, he can constantly shoot out high amounts of magic damage every fight. Zed is a powerful early game assassin due to his high base stats because of Ninja. He can be a great physical damage carry to handle units like Shyvana or Aurelion Sol that assassins like Akali might not be able to handle. Rengar is another alternative to physical damage carry in assassins. With Wild buff and increased maximum attack speed, Rengar can massacre comps quickly. Though Rengar is weaker than Assassin Kassadin, so he only stays as an A tier unit. Pyke is a great unit for assassins to provide Frozen Heart debuffs and healing mitigation with Morrocrux. Though he isn't a great hyper carry, the stun he provides and the potentially game-changing debuffs he can provide have left him as an A tier on our list. Anivia is a niche but powerful unit in elementals, though she's usually not worth it by herself. The attack speed, slow, and damage she provides can be crucial to fighting assassins, slingers, or rangers. However, she doesn't hit S tier due to her problem being similar to Cho'Gath, where her ultimate is heavily affected by randomness. Up next for our B tier units, we have Darius, Mordekaiser, Garen, Jinx, Katarina, Misfortune, Rek'Sai, Shen, Twisted Fate, Vi, Yasuo, Elise, Karthus, Leona, and Evelynn. Darius, Mordekaiser, and Garen are great units to pick up early for Knights. Darius can scale well into the late game utilizing his Imperial buff. Mordekaiser can be used in Ranger teams for Phantom. However, Garen isn't as great later on since Nobles is no longer prioritized. However, they all do a fair amount of damage early and do a great job at tanking. Despite the nerfs, Jinx can be a decent carry when combined with Blademasters and Slingers. Though she's become significantly worse due to her rockets being countered by dragons, her overall damage being nerfed, and being likely to die when fighting assassins. Katarina's buff gave her more consistency, which is a huge benefit to a champion like her. She's nowhere near powerful, but providing AoE grievous wounds and damage can be strong, especially when itemized properly. Misfortune receiving a lot of buffs has allowed her to see more and more play. She gets a B tier due to how easily she can miss her ultimate though. However, if she does land her ultimate properly, it can change the entire course of the fight. She also gets hard countered by Knights, a common frontline synergy. Rek'Sai has been a pretty staple unit in Void Assassin. After her bug fix to have proper healing, she's also become a decent unit with Void. Her damage and health aren't too great, leaving her as a B tier unit. Shen has also been a solid unit due to his AD from Ninja. He also provides a powerful frontline because of his ability of being able to soak up tons of damage. He counters Rangers and Assassins, though his biggest weakness is RFC, a common carry item on units like Draven, Kassadin, and Ashe. Twisted Fate is not a powerful carry sorcerer, but he's a fantastic filler sorcerer to provide mana for your carries. He's also a great unit in compositions like Shapeshifters, being able to provide mana for faster transformations. Since he's also a pirate, he can be used early to help generate gold, especially if you're a gunslinger team. Even though brawlers haven't seen much play, Vi is a great unit to put in if you're running Hex Tech. Her damage is not crazy, but she's still a great frontline for your team. Karthus, though he was once one of the strongest sorcerers in the game, is now mediocre after all the nerfs. He's powerful as a 2-star, but as a 1-star, he gets outclassed by some of the late-game 2-star sorcerers. Dragon Synergy also completely negates another unit he could have potentially killed. Yasuo can be a great filler unit when 2-starred. He's also a great carry in Draven comps, providing the late-game BladeMaster. His ability to apply on-hit through tornadoes makes him a consistent way to apply red buffs when fighting shapeshifters, or disarm when fighting assassins. Elise constantly receiving buffs has made her a staple synergy unit. She's not strong by herself, but she helps provide an early shapeshifter and demon synergy, which can be crucial for a lot of the current meta comps. However, due to her overall strength, she gets a B tier. Leona is a decent unit to run when going for Guardians. However, she's pretty expensive compared to Braum, and her second synergy, Nobles, is weaker compared to Pantheon with Dragons or Braum with Glacial. She also received nerfs onto her stun a patch ago, also making her a bit weaker. Evelynn was once considered the best carry in the game, but isn't favored in this meta. After her nerf, she also has some more difficulty executing people, which can impact a lot of fights. Though she is a great mid-game demon or assassin to pick up before people start picking up dragons in the late game. Now onto our C tier. We have Blitzcrank, Fiora, Gangplank, Veigar, Ahri, Warwick, Jace, Tristana, and Graves. These are units that are alright, but not units you particularly want to play around. Blitzcrank gets a C tier in our list simply because he's too situational of a unit. Blitzcrank synergies well with Jinx and can be an okay pickup to grab onto someone's backline carry like Aurelion Sol. However, brawlers have fallen out of favor, and outside of grabbing and stunning a unit, he doesn't offer much. Fiora is a decent BladeMaster, but falls off pretty quickly into the mid-game. She doesn't offer much stats, but can be a decent unit to put items like Rage Blade and Static Shiv on as you sell her later into the game. Gangplank, once dominating the meta, has been nerfed and fallen out of favor. He's somewhat okay at applying on-hit effects, but units like Lucian or Yasuo are a lot more effective, due to Yasuo being more consistent and having a shield, and Lucian being ranged. Veigar doesn't quite fit in this current meta, due to being easily killed by assassins, and his only carry potential surrounding him is getting 3-starred. For a third Yordle or Sorcerer, typically Lulu takes his place, providing a lot more utility and crowd control. Ahri still doesn't seem quite as strong, even with the buff to 4 wilds. She might be used for wild or sorcerers, but her damage isn't enough, and her power early game is usually outclassed by people econing early. She also doesn't guarantee a win streak either if you do 2-star her. There are many better replacements late game as well. Warwick is another unit that doesn't quite work despite the wild buffs. His overall stats are weak, and his ability doesn't do much in terms of crowd control or healing. Jace provides Hextech and Shapeshifter bonus, but he doesn't do enough as a unit. In terms of damage, Nidalee, Swain, Shyvana, and Gnar outclass him. His crowd control also only affects one unit, and sometimes this is good, sometimes this is bad. He also isn't that tanky to serve as an effective frontline. Tristana and Graves both only serve to provide gunslingers, though both are not put in D tier for different reasons. Tristana's range provides decent consistency to apply on-hits like Swordbreaker and Hush, though outshined in damage and mobility by Lucian and efficiency by Jinx. Graves also can become a powerful carry with double rapid-fire cannon and Infinity Edge, working like an A-tier carry. However, by themselves without items, they're incredibly weak, and it's likely the items you get are better off on someone else. And finally, our D tier. These are units that are extremely unfavored due to their poor stats or simply not being useful at all. For our D tier, we have Camille, Volibear, and Vayne. Camille gets a D tier due to her lacking stats and other Hextechs typically being stronger than her. Her ultimate is lackluster and isn't used that often compared to Fiora. Her damage and health are also very low. Volibear is not necessarily a bad unit like Camille, but gets a D tier for being too expensive. He doesn't deal much damage, nor does he get his on-hit effectively. In terms of stats and ability, he's about to Warwick's power level, which is bad considering he's a 3-cost. Vayne is the worst ranger out of the 4 and doesn't serve much power even in the early game. Units like Ashe or Varus deal a lot more damage, and units like Kindred have utility. Noble buff doesn't do much for your team as well, making her a huge downside to run if you're going for rangers. Even when 3-starred, she can feel very lacking. And that's the tier list for every unit in 9.18. This patch has opened up a lot of space for units to shine. There are multiple carry options to look out for and many units to play around. Was there any ratings that you don't agree with? Who do you guys think is the strongest unit this patch? Comment down below and remember to subscribe to our channel. Until then, we hope to see you guys in the next video.